Hello, and welcome to another MCO market update on Bitcoin. The Bitcoin chart still is it's holding all levels still, yeah. So we'll take a look at the microstructure in a minute, but I want to start on the daily chart just briefly because this is where we can see different trend lines and how they support the price right now. First of all, you can see that on the daily chart, we're still holding above Fibonacci support. I don't want to talk too much about the daily chart wave count because I did that today extensively on our MCO Global channel. If you haven't watched that video, if you're interested, daily chart, there are also some discussions around mindset and tactics. The link is in the description. But what is interesting is this section here, I think, right? So we are still holding in this wedge pattern, in this so-called ascending wedge, which means we're holding above the yellow trend line here that we see on the daily chart. Now, okay, on the smaller time frame, we probably have to adjust this a little bit, but this trend line technically is still holding. I think a trend line on the smaller time frame broke briefly, very briefly. Or maybe not. Maybe we'll double check that. Maybe that's the same actually. And yeah, this one is holding. So decent trend line. It's holding. It's at an angle where an uptrend is sustainable. It can respect it for a while. It's not too steep. Sometimes when the trend lines are too steep, the price doesn't respect it at all, right? So yeah, tracking this at the moment, and an upside reversal could still be in progress. The pullback is in 3 waves, so it can still go higher, it can still grind higher. That move up, though, is not clean at all. It's not a clean structure. I'm considering this to be a diagonal pattern, as you might remember from previous updates. So it's not clearly aggressively bullish, but for now, we're holding all levels, okay? Even though there was a bit of a pullback today, but so far this is only seen as a corrective pullback. But yeah, we're holding that pattern. We're also holding above the previously broken trend line. So I leave that on the chart for now because it could, if the price goes a bit lower, we might just test it and get a bounce. Just for some additional parameters to watch. And then we've got this upper trend line, but a descending trend line as well. Dotted line, prices coming down lower. And yeah, we need to see at some point a break above this red line. If it was tested now, we'll talk about around about $90,200, yeah? And then overall, what we really want to see is that 5-wave move to the upside that started down here around the 10th or 11th of March. So we'll now switch to the smaller time frame to take a look. Before we do that, you might not know it. I know we hear in the on the main channel, we've got a lot of people from Spanish-speaking countries and also people who speak Hindi who are watching these videos. Just wanted to make you aware you are welcome to join our Hindi channel. Yeah, feel free to check it out if you are from that language group. And also we have a Spanish-speaking channel. We're building communities worldwide. That's what MCO Global stands for. So the links are in the description and pinned in the comment section. If you are Spanish-speaking or if you speak Hindi, feel free to check the relevant channel out. It will just grow further, and we plan to build local communities as well, and then provide content that will be relevant to those groups as well. Okay, let's start here on the let's start on the smaller time frame then. And we are dealing here with, in my opinion, still a diagonal pattern to the upside. Okay, so this remains my view. We have a diagonal pattern in which we have a wave 1 to the upside, a wave 2 to the downside. Now, in reality, that can be counted in various ways. I could move the wave 2 here. I could maybe even move the wave 1 here. Maybe if I really wanted to, but it just doesn't fit, I could label that as a 1-2-1-2 setup. So there are different ways how I can label that. I always try to find a way that gives me flexibility also when making trading decisions, but also when making or when providing the analysis that support levels capture most of these scenarios, okay? But yeah, please note that there are, due to the foundation that was built down here, the interpretation is, not quite clear. So there are various patterns that could develop here, or you can at least label it in different ways. Overall, it doesn't make a great difference because either way, I would consider this some kind of a wave 2 here. but it will have an impact on upside targets. But for now, I think this seems to be the most suitable one. It has worked out so far. The idea is that then from this wave 2 low, and if you're not so familiar with Elliott Wave, we're looking for 5 waves. The 5-wave pattern is going to be our lighthouse on the chart. We need 5 waves to get really good orientation where the trend is going. Doesn't mean the market has to form 5 waves, but if we see 5 waves, it will provide some clarity and it will suggest that we continue to climb higher going forward, possibly then after a pullback. But without 5 waves up, probabilities will remain fairly balanced. Now, the thesis is that we are moving up in a 3rd wave right now, which again would be an A, B, C structure, because we're dealing with a diagonal pattern. So subwaves are corrective. And then you can see that from this B wave low, which is located around $83,200, we want to see, we want to see 5 waves. And the idea is that an impulse to the upside started from down here, from the 21st of March. We have a wave 1, we have a wave 2, we have a wave 3, and this was a big pullback, okay? Quite decent pullback. Yeah, we hit that trend line there. It's a pullback in 3 waves, and now a 5th wave up could start. Now, I mentioned to you in the previous update that we might get another low, but that still, that level around 86,190 must hold, and I'm watching for reversal. Because below 86,190, let's say the bullish case will become far less likely, right? Or at least the structure will change. Now, funny enough, it really held support. Yes, we had a wick below, but if I go to the 1 hour time frame, you can see that the 1 hour candle didn't even close below that. That is not a break of support. Rather, support worked because the bulls turned up at the 50% retracement and at the trend line. So parameters currently still being respected, but honestly, that low must hold to keep the white scenario alive. And what would be if we break below it? You know, what would be then? So for now, I'm still giving the bulls the benefit of the doubt here for potentially one more high in wave 5. The problem is if we break below that last low there, it opens the door to a much larger correction. And I would still, as long as this low holds from the 21st of March, I would still give the bulls the benefit of the doubt, but then the structure would change. Again, there are different ways how this could be labeled. I could, for example, place the A wave here, because it would also be a 3-wave move. The B wave might be a bit deeper, so that we, in the end, just get an extended 3rd wave. 3 waves in A, then here a B wave, and we could still rally in a C wave then. It would be kind of a backup plan. Bottom line is, as long as pullbacks are 3 waves, we can give the bulls the chance, or at least I intend to give the bulls the benefit of the doubt, and I'll keep you updated about that, yeah? But for now, as long as we are still holding the upper support region, the focus can remain on higher prices. Looking at the nanostructure, I mean, this looks like a mini bull flag maybe that's forming now from that low. But yeah, this is now very much micro counting. Important would be really that this intraday low holds to keep the white scenario alive. I'm still leaning towards it, but obviously probabilities for the white count have reduced because this is quite an extended 4th wave. It is very full. It ideally, I mean, it must have bottomed. If it's a wave 4, it must have bottomed, in my view, yeah. But not really too much evidence for that. So I'll keep you updated about that. Hope you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment, and subscribe. And if you really like the content, then please check out the channel membership. And if you speak Spanish or Hindi, feel free to join one of these channels. We're building, as I said, local communities, and you have a chance to be there from the beginning. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.